What's up, y'all? Steve here. Got a another one of vintage toys of my childhood, featuring G.I. Joe. This one right here is going to be the year 1984. I'm probably going to break it down now to just year. I think 82, 83 I did it together, and the reason why I did that was because 83 had a lot of the same figures from 82, except they just had the swivel arm battle grip or kung fu action battle grip. This is a big difference, and you know, hope you guys liked the first video. Anyway, so here's 84, and 84 took off just like 82 and 83 did. Had a lot of success. I'll start off with some of the Joes. Here's Blowtorrch. It's got complete with his backpack, flamethrower, and the mask. There's actually two different helmets. There was one that had the hole in the side, and then there was one that didn't. You know, this is the only version that I've seen, but I haven't really looked too much for the smooth helmet. But anyway, there's Blowtorrch. They came out with another G.I. Joe vamp, and this right here is actually another clutch, but he's in a tan, because this version of the vamp, of course, was tan, or kind of a dark brown. And of course, you know, they didn't come with, you know, the backpacks or machine guns, but a lot of collectors, and I'm kind of one of them, you know, these right here are actually accessory pack backpacks, and, you know, M16, and I like to just throw it in there because it actually goes good with them. So just everybody's preference might be a little bit different. Here's Deep Six. That was the shark driver. And to me, he was probably one of the most useless G.I. Joes made. You really couldn't do much with him. You know, he had the little hose that went there and the little bellows that, you know, you could put him in the water and all that. But he didn't get a whole lot of playing time in my collection. Then let's see here. Here's Cutter. He was the G.I. Joe hovercraft pilot driver. So there he is. His cap was always get kind of banged up a little bit. This is actually an upgrade one. Mine was real bad. But there's Cutter. Then kind of go through here. Let's see, I showed Duke in the last one for some reason. And let's see, let's do Mutt. Where's Mutt at? There's Mutt and Junkyard. And all these guys, all these figures are complete. You know, they're his little, was it Mac 10 or whatever it is, silencer. And also the little nightstick and the muzzle. Those are always hard to find, lost a lot of times. And of course, here's Junkyard and his leash. Then you got Ricondo. I don't know if you guys have ever watched those action figure therapy, but you need to watch them. You can look on YouTube. They got a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, but it's called Action Figure Therapy, and it is hilarious. And he's one of the main characters on there. But they actually use the figures as part of the, you know, the characters. They're in the video, so it's pretty neat. But here's Ricondo. Ricondo's actually got 3 different versions of paint, camouflage on his pants. And this is the only version I have. A lot of times on his machine gun, but the tip will always break off. For some reason, that tip will break off real easily. So, but there he is. He's in great condition. Then here's one of my favorites growing up right here was Ripcord. Complete with a halo, jumpsuit, vest, parachute, mask, helmet, and gun. I just like this camouflage, the camouflage pattern. He had a lot of stuff. And of course, you know, there's always, you know, one of the favorites. Here's Roadblock, complete with a machine gun, tripod, and his backpack. A lot of times on the backpack, this little bottom piece right here is lost a lot. And also that tab is broke off quite a bit, so be on the lookout for that. So there's Roadblock. And we got Spirit. This is Eagle Freedom. Complete with his belt, backpack, and his gun. A lot of times on the Eagle, a lot of times the little part that claps onto the wrist is broke off, so be aware of that. And here's Thunder. He drove the G.I. Joe Slugger tank, and he's actually got a mononuclear. Yeah, I think I said that right. But a lot of times that right there is missing, as well as the headset and the visor. Here's everybody's favorite right here as far as Cobras go. One of the G.I. Joe Baroness, all in black. And she's had a kind of a resurgence in the comics lately. You know, she was always a main character in the cartoon and in the comic books early on, but the newer cartoons, she's one of the big characters. So, I guess they're playing off the sexiness of the Baroness. That's what they're doing. Then we got Copperhead. Now there's actually two versions of Copperhead. This is the one that I had as a kid. As you can see, the gloves are kind of neon. So is the stripe on the helmet. But also there was this version here. As you can see, it has more of a teal. It has a teal gloves, teal armbands, and also the helmet doesn't have the stripe on it. So didn't know that as a kid. As a collector later on, that's, you know, you find these things out. Then we got the hooded Cobra Commander. One of my favorites as a kid. You know, this is the one that you'd mail in your flag points, and you know, you'd get them in the mail. This is one right here. Paint's good, the emblem's good. Oops, sorry. Got the gun, original gun. Just a good looking figure. Then you've got Firefly. This is everybody's favorite right here. And I'll take him out, because he was always one of my favorites as well. But here's Firefly. Good condition. Everything's tight. Screws. There's his backpack with the lid on it. You got his machine gun. Then you also got the hard to find, we could call this an 80s cell phone, walkie-talkie, whatever you want to call it. But this is always missing right here. A lot of times you'll find this. It might be a different color. It might be red or white. So, but anyway, he was always a favorite. Then you got Cobra Scrap Iron, which he was the anti-armor specialist. Got his pistol right there, and also here's his rocket launcher with the missiles in it, and also the trigger cable. Here's another one here I'll take out. Is Storm Shadow. As you can see right here, he's white. I mean, as far as uniform, it's white. A lot of times on these white figures, you'll see them, they'll be real yellow. Cobra emblem's good. Paint wear on the on his sash and all that's minimal, so he's in great condition. Backpack, both swords intact. The handles look pretty good. A lot of times you'll get them and the handles look like they've just been shredded, you know, as far as just in and out of figures' hands. And here I've got these wrapped up because these pieces like to break a lot. Is the nunchucks and the bow. A lot of times the bowstring will break because it's so thin. But both of those are intact. So one of my all-time favorites right there. Here's Wild Weasel, which was the Rattler pilot. Another one of my favorites growing up. Everything looks good. Paint looks good on the legs. Emblem's good on the arm. Then we got, this is the Cobra Stinger driver. I like this figure growing up too because it was gray. Just different looking, different paint scheme. It's actually molded after the Cobra Officer, which the Cobra Officer had, he was blue and had a silver Cobra emblem on the chest. So he does have some paint wear on the mask right there. But other than that, it looks pretty good. This is actually my original one growing up. So lots of play wear. Here's Zartan. Right here, the mask. He came with a, I'll take it out. And I forgot all about him having his little sled. I've got the sled and the sleigh and all that stuff as well. But it came with a pistol. Then also came with this little rubber mask that a lot of times is lost. So he's complete. Chest plate looks good. You put him in sunlight, you know, that was what was cool about him when you was a kid. You put him in sunlight and he'd change colors. So a lot of times you get some you know, look at the oxidation on the head. See it? Kind of like powdery looking. You know, it can be cleaned up, but anyway, that is it as far as figures for 1984. I'll show you what the sleigh and stuff looks like. Right there. Because he was one that didn't come on a car. He actually came in a box because he came with the swamp skier. So pretty cool, pretty cool. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll do 1985 after this one. And I didn't take them all out of the bags because, man, that was to break them down and all that stuff, as I did in the 82 and 83 video. Just took a lot of time. So I decided just to kind of get a close-up and show you guys the figures the best I can. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you're having a good day. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.